Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dave Sebastian, coordinator of mentoring arts programming with Wayside Youth and Family. I am back with you again, coming to you from Shirley in the home studio. I am excited to once again bring you the TAG program, or the art group. This is a program I normally run on the road at youth centers and schools and anywhere else that'll have me to try to create arts programming for the 16 to 26-year-old young adults in Central Mass. Unfortunately, the pandemic has us sitting at home, so at the moment I am doing the TAG program remotely. I hope any of you guys are out there being safe and having a good day. Today we're going to talk about some different types of media that I'm kind of excited about, although I don't actually really know anything about them, so I'm not totally sure they're going to work out, but we're hopeful. You know what I'm talking about? So we are right now going to talk about some of my programs and how I get here to talk to you guys and what we're up to. I just want to get my reference lined up here real quick. All right, so I am with Wayside Youth and Family, and like I said, my title is Coordinator of Mentoring Arts Programming. And what that means is I basically create artwork, and young adults sort of watch me do it as an engagement method and a social effort. You know, the young adults who work with me get to hang out with each other, get to hang out in my basement studio, which is at 68 Henry Street in Framingham, and Tempo Young Adult Resource Center. We are part of the larger Wayside organization. Wayside is a human service agency that works in Framingham, out of Framingham. I believe we work throughout all of Central Mass, even really a lot of Mass, I feel like. And those guys help young adults and their families with any kind of crisis or outpatient help or anything they could possibly need. And Tempo is actually kind of the same idea, targeting specifically, transitional age youth, which folks think of mostly as 16 to 26. Tempo has a whole bunch of substance options, for example, like a computer lab and a food kitchen and a shower and a washer and dryer, bathroom. So all of those things are available. And then they also have transitional facilitators, although that term may be a little bit outdated. There's staff that are there to help them with anything they might need, like crisis stuff like homelessness and drug problems, and then just general stuff, like employment, personal hygiene, that kind of stuff. Counseling. They do have free outpatient counseling there. I'm not sure what day it is, but I can look that up and I'll stick it in the comments. We are today we are going to try to do some sort of a little bit of a different thing than I've done in the past. Mostly meaning everything I've used on here up until this point has been something I've used before, so I had some level of understanding of it or expectation out of what I was going to get based on a certain technique. So today we're trying something totally new. It's you and me together trying something new. So we're going to be together today for 2 hours working on working with Windsor Newton pigment markers, which are these guys right. I don't want to show you the white. That would be totally ridiculous. So they're these markers right here. I know that's backwards, and I'm sorry about that. They're kind of sort of an interesting little marker. They're double-ended. They have sort of like a big size and a little bit of a smaller size. They're highly pigmented. The advertisements say, I don't find the markers to be doing really well because I got this set on clearance. So whenever your product is on clearance, clearly not absolutely the best message, right? So I have been excited to try them simply because I own them. But but I'm hoping that we can come up with something kind of interesting. The other thing is we're working on a little bit of a different surface. There we go. Today we're going to be working on this, which is yupo paper. Yupo paper is a really, really cool product. I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but I know what it's made of. And yupo paper, whoops. I hate when markers are totally round because then they roll away. All right. Anyway, yupo paper is a fairly heavy, this is yupo heavy, as you can see with the title on it. One second. One of them got away. This particular yupo paper is heavy. They make a whole bunch of different weights and sizes and stuff. Excuse me. And they're made from polypropylene or garbage bags. So they're recycling garbage bags into basically like a plasticky kind of a surface. And that surface seems to be really good with airbrush. Like here's a piece that I did this weekend. And I just touched the red a little tiny bit to get a little bit of these pigments and to see what happens. And I really feel like that, it really helps set off the rest of the airbrush stencil, So today we're going to work on a project inspired by the Anaheim, California artist, the Piz. That's P-I-Z-Z. Really great underground skateboard artist, and just an excellent guy. He's not with us anymore, unfortunately. We lost him, I believe, the year before last. But he was a good man, and I recommend anybody that has any interest in those that type of artwork, skateboards, graffiti, art prints. He does some comics. Very comic style is his work. You should really check it out. It's kind of brilliant. So today we're going to do a piece based on a painting that he did, which is called Drive-By Hardware. I'm going to obviously not copy that piece, but I'm going to use the details that he is giving us to try to pull together a general version of what he drew in his painting, and then we're going to try to mess with it with these colors. I'm going to outline that in pencil, but I'm using the hardest pencil that I have. This guy here, this guy here is a Staedtler 2H. They make harder pencils, but this guy is pretty hard. Like pencils are divided up into B, soft, and H, hard, and then there's an F and an HB in the middle of those. F, pretty good. I feel like a pretty hard guy, but H is just a little bit harder. So I wanted to use the H to see if I could get a really soft sketch, at least a locational sketch, so that we can still see the pigment through it. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but I'm hopeful. We're going to give it a shot. All right, so just in case, I have this, which is a Derwent water brush. Sometimes watercolor markers, you can spread them a little bit, thin them a little. I'm using, obviously, your basic pencil sharpener. Also have the fine here, just in case the 2H doesn't work out. And then I'm using my stick eraser, which is a Papermate eraser stick. These are awesome. As opposed to trying to get the corner of a larger block eraser small enough that you can erase details, this guy is almost like a pencil tip for erasing details. And I've even covered stuff in graphite and drawn with just the eraser with this product, and it works really well. I really like it. So I have that guy here. And that is that. So now we're going to kind of jump over into laying this out. I'm going to find the best place for me so that I'm not in your way. All right, a cool thing is this insert that has Legion on it. I don't know what that means. It always makes me think of Exorcist 3, which was called Legion, the third Exorcist book, but the third Exorcist movie. In it, they ask the demon's name, and the demon says, we are there, we are legion, for we are many. And I really dig that. So we're going to try to place our character over in this area right here. His hand down like this. Right, and try to get him. You know, we're going to put the car seat right in here and have it kind of bow out like it's coming to the camera. And we'll have these lines to help it be believable. We're going to kind of stretch, you know, we got his shoulders coming in like this, and he's going to be driving, so we put his hand up here, we got our steering wheel. We want this guy to be kind of sleazy, so we want to give him like a gut, loose tie and stuff like that, you know. So then we get a leg out, and we want to keep that leg coming like this, because we want to make sure we can keep his foot on the gas pedal. But that is a pretty extreme low angle from there. But it's general anyway, like I said. So since we have the seat going this way, the back of the seat, we want the bottom of the seat here as well. Hold on just 1 second. Got a little problem with my recorder. Go. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes you can't get a break. All right, so we got this drawing started here. Oh, sorry about that. Let's get it up under where you guys can see it a little bit more. There we go. Maybe we'll just bail me out of there for a sec so you guys can see what we're doing here. All right, there we go. So we need to come down a little. All right. You guys see that okay? You guys see that okay? Sorry about that. Trying to get things going, you know what I mean? All right, so we got one leg down here. You know, we're probably going to have to mess with this guy's, you know, the rest of his body, you know, kind of here. We got one arm out holding the steering wheel. His other arm is back there. We got his sort of general body shape established through here. Now we just want to bring his neck out a bit to, you know, sort of stick it out a little over that arm. I'm going to give him a hat because that's what the Piz did. All right. So here I'm just going to grab a small ruler because some lines, for example, the seat here I could probably go kind of a soft round, you know, maybe, but part of it should at least have a general association with straight. So that would give us those things. And then, you know, like for example, you know, this is going to be where our steering wheel is, right? And this is the center of our steering wheel, you know, that kind of stuff. But if you go down from the steering wheel, you know, you want to have something that looks at least kind of straight. So, you know, this is the steering column, and we can go in here and kind of mess with that. We can, of course, erase that. Let's take a look at what happens with erasing on the yupo paper. That's pretty good. pretty nice. So we're putting in this collar piece right here, which is like, say, a second, piece or whatever. I wish the Piz was still with us, and if he's out there somewhere listening, thank you so much for the opportunity to use this work. This is a totally brilliant piece. And then we just keep going now with that guy. Give another circle here, and that's what we'll have the tree stick off of, the shifter. And then another thing is, like, we have his body coming up here and going over to his arm. Definitely going to have to make that arm a little bit bigger. Back here, we're having the windows. Just kind of like, even though it's going through his body right here, we're really just looking for a straight line, across just under the steering wheel here. Or a straight, I guess we want to kind of bring that line down a little bit because we want it to be down near his shoulder a little more. We can kind of cheat the difference. So we find that we don't need this top guy. All right. And we want to stick with the lower one. All right. All right. Take the steering wheel up just a little bit taller so that we can get his hand on it a little better. You notice when I'm sketching, I'm really, really messy. That's, that's my style, I'd like to say, as opposed to, yeah, that's my style. I guess that's how I do it. Okay, so this is going to be our roof line. We're going to assume his hat just breaks the line enough that we get the front support is coming through here. So then we get the, keep it coming down. And another one. Come up and not go quite so softly down. Try to tighten this up if it was going to be the head, the top of the windshield. Actually, I think maybe we should go like that. Bring it down a little. It does seem to hold on to erasing a little bit. The eraser. Sometimes I use this brush here just to erase, because then you're not rubbing your hand again and again across the paper. Cool. So we got coming down here and coming out over there, and then around like this neighborhood here, you'd have your rear view mirror, right like that. Okay. And then we have the line of the chair and the line of where we're going to have the window ledge now and the drivetrain piece, but now we need to have our dash. And the dash, of course, would be relatively parallel to the seat, but in this case we're going to have a little bit of a kind of extreme perspective on that, because we're kind of looking through the window at this guy, which is how the Piz designed it, which I just can't say enough good stuff about the guy. I feel like his work has affected me in a big way, you know. In fact, I was in California last summer, and I was definitely hoping to go to a Piz show. I had not heard that we had lost the Piz, and I was very upset about that. And I was there working with a number of skateboard and underground artists, and they were all saying the same thing, that, you know, he was an amazing guy, and they all missed him and stuff. So at least I didn't feel alone. So we're looking for a little transition here from like the dash down to the, you know, where the trim would be, assuming your drivetrain was there. We might have to break down and use a larger eraser. I don't make mistakes, so I don't need erasers. Yeah. You guys are watching me draw. You know the truth of that particular statement, right? So we're looking to have a line underneath these gauges and have that line follow the dash. So the line under the gauges should go all the way out here. That guy kind of looks like a good one for our ruler. The lower half. Now we're coming up here and transitioning over there. So I think we want this line to be kind of straight too. Okay. We'll use our very small ruler. This is a 6-inch ruler. Anybody out there should be using these rulers. They're really awesome. And you know, if you're drawing honestly anything, you know what I mean? Like if you're drawing like really anything, you should at least have a ruler with you. And if you don't wind up using it, you know, that's no big deal. But anytime you can throw in a sort of, I guess what I would think of as a recognizable shape, a ruler will help be able to pick up on some of that information and make it make sense to your viewer. And if you can start to get your viewer to make sense of a drawing, then they're starting to buy into your reality. You know what I mean? Like buy into, you know, looking at your stuff like it's real. And that's what we really want. You know, like that's what we're all trying to do with our art is, you know, create the illusion of reality. Like that's fun. I'm not trying to copy reality at all, but like if you can make your stuff have the vibe of reality, a lot of times it helps it to be more interesting. All right. So now we got that bottom line coming from under the gauges. Now this one wants to be kind of up, like kind of right by the gauges. Another one, same spot. And now our dash line, which I kind of threw in here kind of softly. I feel like maybe the front might have a little bump in it. You know what I mean? Like as the dash comes across, sometimes by the steering wheel there's a little bump. But from the steering wheel down, from that bump down, should be a relatively straight line. Alright, so, you know, we want to do 2 of those, so it's the bottom of the windshield. So now if we have a big windshield like that, we're going to have we're going to be able to see the hood of the car. And like this line that we have through here, this is going to be our hood of the car. We also need to throw a back support in here. Right. I think I'll probably wind up softening this line back here up a little just so we can fit the outside stuff. Liking it though, I feel like it looks cool. Like we've got like an inside kind of thing going inside of his car. And we're going to be able to, I think we're going to be able to make this into something cool. All right. I can't tell you how much I dig the Piz, like that I've been really interested in for a long time. In fact, I have some pretty big tattoos, and the first tattoo I ever wanted to get was a Piz drawing, which was two, like the police chasing two criminals who were sticking way out of their cars because they were larger than life, and that kind of stuff. It was really silly, but really, really fun too, you know. Got to give this guy another leg. We forgot his other leg. Just have his foot stick out a little. Front leg, gotta have him driving, you know. And we figure out where we want his eyes and this information to go. He's gonna kind of be mad. All right, so we were talking about the hood of the car. So we really want the hood of the car to go down like this. And then of course, like in, you know, if you were looking down your hood, you'd see this line, which they put into a little piece of trim coming across. I mean, yeah, there we go. Gonna have to mess with this mirror a little to have it make, you know, sense to be facing the guy. So that would be like a little bump out over here. So then, of course, if we could see outside, we're going to have to leave a little bit of reference to there being an outside, right? You know, anytime, as I was saying, that you can add a little bit of detail that you think starts to tell a little bit of extra story, you know, like you should absolutely do that. So this is a good line right here to give us the, you know, to bring down here is the bottom half of the front end of the car. And you know, then, you know what, actually, I want to kind of change these guys a little bit. Because really down here isn't so much a straight area, it's kind of a subtle curve, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of comes down like this, like just a curve. With a second line through the middle, so it kind of comes out and then curves, right? And like, you know, that's this line over here kind of should do it too, you know, which I think it does sort of. And it wants to come all the way down and cut through that bottom layer. This guy is really old, so there'd still be a cigarette, an ashtray in here. So it's cool to throw in an ashtray because it's a very simple thing to draw. You know what I mean? Like it's a box. So it's not too tough to draw. And it's sort of a senseless piece of detail, you know, like just a silly thing. Now, one thing you'd have to mess with as far as the drawing is that it has to come around in this opening, you know, and so it has to be big enough to come around there, tall enough, you know, that kind of stuff. You have to justify the space in here, which is to put the inside of the dash, you know, so you can see inside there. I actually think we need this guy to be a little bigger and longer. So we'll throw our corner piece back there instead. Same deal down here. It needs to be real tall. It was always sort of like a you know, that this is sort of the side of the drawer that was the cigarette, the ashtray, you know, so this would be like the drawer, and then this guy would be the inside there. All right, that's cool. So now we have like a little ashtray thrown in there. We got our the front of the car going. All right. We were just talking about some buildings, right? So maybe we could throw a building back here. Another one over here. I'm going to use that line there to be like the base of all of the of these other buildings, the backyard, you know what I mean, kind of thing. In these buildings here, actually, you know, I don't know. Kind of want the street to come down a little lower. I was thinking, like, you know, push them back and give us some road. But I think that's going to give us too much road and make it seem like we're in the road, floating in the road. So I think it probably makes more sense to establish where we want the road to be before we sweat where we want the buildings to be. So I would like to make sure I erase a bunch of this mess right here and start thinking about the steering wheel. Keep it up here like this and have it clear the dash a bit. These things are of course you'll be able to see them, you know, through here because they're going to line up with this window ledge here. So out here, out the top of the car, we're going to kind of, I think, you know, we'll throw the horizon line in here, horizon line, the sidewalk, and maybe down that, you know, maybe it'd come up and then it'd just trail off back here, like, so we wouldn't be able to see it. That way we can leave these buildings that we've already drawn here. You know, if you were looking up at these buildings, they would fall away like this, right? And you know, we could put some more detail in these buildings as we go. With the other markers. So thinking about having like a sort of an opening here. But then we'll have another one come out over here as we kind of work our way down. You know, and then over here we have another one, kind of catch it through here. Starting to fall away, you know. Now we just stick another one down here. All right. just one more over here. All right. All right. So we bring this guy down, bring this guy down. This guy here is going to go a couple extra lines up him just to show that he's part of the support parts of the car. All right, we're getting there, man. We're getting there. Let's take me out. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. Everybody get lost for a second there. Oh my God, it's black. I was lost. All right, we got some buildings in there. Oh no. Sec, buddy. All right. So, what do we need next? Definitely got to clean up our steering wheel. Start to bring some detail in on the guy. Get a little bit more headliner kind of action happening. What else? I guess, you know, we're kind of typifying the back, his hand back here. So we'd have to have some window.
Is it Mrs. Martineau, Miss Martineau, or just Martineau?
Sorry, you guys. I am back with you. So what are we going to do with this back seat thing here? This will kind of establish where the back door might be. So now this line, right, which we have as a soft sort of like line, right? And then this one, because as you can see, we're kind of spreading our perspective out a little bit. And so this seat would come down in the same way, you know, like as the front seats. But as we trip away, you know, our vanishing point would be somewhere over here. So we'd take here, 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 and here, and then finally here. So it's basically like a spread perspective. It's a single point perspective of the guy in the car, basically. It's just pretty well spread out. The piece itself has a 2-point perspective, or even a 3, because there's the one we were just talking about, and then there'd be the one that the buildings conform to. Would there be a third one? Yeah, I guess there would be a third one, as these things eventually convert to their, you know, their vanishing points. Just throwing a little ear in there as a placement for myself. Kind of want this seat to do the same sort of pleating as the back one. Right. Okay. Just so we have it there, you know. All right, so now we got, like, I don't know, 50% of the stuff we need. All right, so we were just establishing that here an armrest. Now the armrest should be in the same, you know, spot in both places. So that means I think we need to move the armrest up a little bit. Whoops. so we're gonna pull this guy together. Same thing, you know, just kind of like a placeholder. We got this cool, actually, you know what, I don't need that. That's not working as well as I hoped it would. Alright, go. So here, we want to start putting together the window trim, you know, which is already, we've already got it over here. I think we might need just a little bit of bigger eraser. So if we got one in here. Got one in there. I have literally hundreds of pencil cases. There be one somewhere. I want to use this one. It's a little too big. This one's really cool. This is a black eraser. This will help us to erase some bigger areas. Since I've made a huge mess here, I can start to take out some of the lines that didn't make any sense. Alright, this is the part where you accidentally erase things that are working. So I just try not to do that. Okay. So now that we've gotten to this spot, you guys can see that we're getting, you know, there's some detail happening. There's some soft detail happening there. Probably a little too much pencil. So now we're going to go in and try to cut this drawing up a little bit and work with individual pieces of our guy, because we need to pull the guy out a lot more. Obviously, he's pretty loose. You know, I'm trying not to put in too much detail, but it's extremely difficult for me. You know, like as you go, I feel like there's always, is this detail or is this important developmental information? You know, this just keeps going back and forth like that. Okay. So now we want to start working on the guy. One of the things that I think are going to be important to our perspective is to make sure that the guy underlaps the seat here, you know. And as I said, this is, you know, a lot the Piz piece. I am not, you know, this is not Hunt at all, really. He's giving us most of the information. This is my ode to him. He's got his, he's got no socks on this guy. Oops. And I don't know that that'll wind up being the finish of his foot. But it's getting closer. The reason we want to have this here is so it gives us an impression of where his feet are, because we still want, you know, them to be in the well there. I don't know, right? Okay, jump in with our bigger eraser. Next bunch of stuff is going to be about erasing, you know, because we're just trying to establish some functioning anatomy. I guess it kind of point this leg back a little bit more. Alright, so just want to get something to help us see where we want this stuff to go. Alright, I think it's time to tighten our belts and put in the steering wheel. It's a big piece of information, dead center, so we're going to have to deal with it. Especially because we have some of these gauges back here. And I want to bring those guys out more. So now we got our gauges in there. So now not parallel would be our center here with the center within there. This is one of those times that this small eraser really helps. Okay. So now kind of run an X across, not there, up a little bit. Okay. Hold on just 1 second. I gotta grab a different thing. Wake up. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So let's get back in here and take a look at the steering wheel. Right? So now that we have this middle guy and we have our initial line coming off of it, we can try to pull in our steering wheel. So we want it to be, if we put an X across here, and then X across there, that would give us our axis. Easy for me to say. Alright. That's pretty much what I wanted it to look like. We want to put a leg coming in over here. A leg coming in over here. This one. The steering column. Our gauges and stuff. I like it. Now we'll take out some of our excessive scribbling. So that piece is real important. You know what I mean? Like that's one of our key pieces right there. Oops. So that's going to mean something. Okay. You know, we'll add a little more detail to that as we go, like where it connects to the steering wheel and back in the day. I'm imagining this is kind of an older car. The horn was in one spot as opposed to the whole steering wheel, or the middle here being the horn, it was down in this area. Or maybe some trim, you know, like some chrome trim. Got that guy. Alright, so now, and we want to bring this down so you can see the inside, because we need to have this be a little round. All right. All right. Okay. Same thing, you know, just keep erasing, keep drawing. Alright, so we got our armrest lined up. Right. This is our character's arm. So we got a lot of the inside of the car pretty much happening. Now it's just our, you know, the steering wheel was big, so we're going to have to put, you know, our character's hand around that. Which is something I will, once again, drop sloppy. I'll give this because Piz had the guy's fingers up, which is just awesome. Okay. Got his fingers sticking down here. Let's get in here and get out some of this stuff. Now that we really know where his hand's going to go, we can kind of stop messing around with it. So it's like always worth it to assume somebody's holding the steering wheel, at least with a partially bent arm. For this, we've got to remember that his body is going to overlap the arm as opposed to the other way. Mostly just because of this angle right here. You know, how that works is usually related to the body angle. We do want to keep this guy pretty skinny. Nothing says sleazy like being skinny. Sorry if anybody's really skinny. It just if you make something very skinny and abstracted, it seems to make it yuckier. Okay, so here we are nearly an hour in, and we haven't even started using those markers yet. We got our sketch almost done though. So, you know, we got to keep going with our guide. Don't let me get distracted. Alright. So, if we're going to have I'm going to bring the character's head in a little so that we can have his face fit in this area and then have his ear back there. But we want to give him a strange, you know, like PIDs never made people look normal. Looked crazy. But just go with me, man. I like that. Alright, so alright. Kind of got to push this up a little if it's over the back of the seat like that. Around his neck and this. Kind of want the middle of his neck and stuff to be here. So that means bringing his collar in over here. Simple business shirt. Same thing coming down to the center collar. Okay, erase some more of this stuff. Some senseless detail in here. I have to edit that a little bit. Okay. All right, now we got some room to throw some additional body information in. I like what's going on with this, but it's getting too low. Right. This will be his tie hanging down into the top of at the top of his pants. We'll have his gut stick out over that. Sometimes there's just not much talking to do. We're cooking along, but it takes a few. Whoa. All right, let's go with some more erasing. Couple of minutes ahead, I feel like. Okay, now we got his tie and information here. So it's really like we got to bring his suit up into this area so that his gut pushes out and his jacket stays in. So I'm pulling his whole body back into the seat to make him extremely skinny and long. So this part we want not even to see the end of, just want to see the seat. So this part just hangs out. Now we got a little bit of curly tie going on. All right, get some more of this stuff out. Okay. 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 So now we got our guy here. I want to just throw a little the front of his pants and stuff. Pants going. I kind of just wanted it to show over the top of the steering wheel, just so kind of established a little continuity here. Okay. Alright, looking pretty good. This stuff over here is good. Okay. Okay. Gotta stay away from this leg looking muscular, because that is not the deal at all. You gotta kind of stay away from anything that really references his muscles, because loose pants at work would definitely not have any muscles showing through. Right? Okay. Right. Most of inside the car looks good. Most of the guy's body, I think, is looking pretty good. Okay. Get some of this scribble out of here. Now, of course, the most important part would be the dude's face and his hat. Gotta have a good hat, man. All right. Just wasn't loving the way that arm was draped. Okay. Throw a book over here just to help with keeping his vibe going. So remember that. Just 1 second. Little too much here. You know, that arm looks a little weird, but I kind of like it. It'll give us a chance to, we're throwing the seed in here. Just kind of doing one of these so we can see maybe the floor in the back down here. Okay, so this would have this pleating. Okay. All right, now we're starting to cook. Got a lot of the stuff where I need it to be. Okay. Okay. Just gonna basically fill a lot of this with, you know, dark when we're done. Was one of our buildings. Okay. Okay, and we take out the little reference stuff here. And we try to pull in some of the vibe of the genius of his, who I think is a genius. An amazing, amazing talent. Gone too soon. We've lost too many folks in the last couple of years. Seriously sad. Alright, so we want his kind of plugged ugly nose in here, which means that we would get this guy's gonna have mean sunglasses on. Sometimes my hand goes numb. It's tremendously inconvenient. Being an artist whose hand goes numb is kind of a contradiction, honestly. All right. What do you guys think? Does, you know, I'm alone out here, getting lonely. Is everybody okay with what we're working on? Sorry we haven't gotten to the markers. It's kind of silly. We had a nice little brim going on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and establish that a little bit more. Okay. Still a lot of scribbling. Get a little teeth in here. Always remember, teeth have to follow perspective, something I always have a hard time with. Also, if you make the little line here on the edge, this little line here on the edge of his teeth, that really helps with making the teeth more coming in on the sides, like rounded, you know. This guy's going to be missing a few teeth. I'll put a gap right there. And keep going. Make sure we get a lot of grimace coming out of them. Still having a little trouble with this arm here. Kind of want it to go a little bit longer, but we're running out of body to put it in. Yes, we'll just have to stick with this. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. It's a weird monster. He's got a dirty neck, but not quite that dirty. I'm going to pull this collar in a little bit on the edge. Okay. Alright, it seems like we really got probably enough information here. Alright, so my plan would be to erase as much of this as I can and sort of see what happens with the marker, even though I realize I have killed this paper with pencil, so I don't know what's going to happen really. So the first thing we want to kind of think about is what color the inside of the car would be. Now we need something a little dark. The only dark marker they give you is this purple. So we're going to grab the dark end of the purple, assuming it works, and try to fill up our the whole roof of the car with that. Kind of a really cool wet marker, you know, like traditional marker, like a Prismacolor. It definitely looks cool on the yupo. Skates right along. What it doesn't do well is cover stuff. Wow, look at that. It's like skating so much you could actually scratch it off. I'm hoping it'll dry on here and not be like that. We'll see. These lower parts of the doors and the top of our armrests will have the same color. Alright. Hey, not the steering wheel. Wow, look at that. You can wipe it right off. This might not be the best color, best marker to use for this application. We're going to see. This here will be the inside of the door. Right. Hold on just 1 second. Looks like a book. Alright, sorry about that, you guys. I am back with you. This time I broke out some aquacolor brushes by Maltau. There's more options, so I'm going to keep these guys on hand to see if any of them make any sense to use with these ones, and to take a look at what happens if we do use them together, you know, just kind of a test. Looks like they go on about the same, so that's cool. Color we have here is teal light. Color we got here, purple. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't even know what color teal is, so the idea of finding it is relatively unrealistic. Keep poking around. Cyan. Oh, we got 2 cyans in there. Wonder what the purple looks like compared to the teal. I think teal is green, right? I don't know, they don't look too bad. I mean, it definitely looks really, really temporary. Can't imagine this ink staying. Definitely seems to want to come right off, you know. Okay. We want this to be a bit darker in here. That does not seem to help much. How about the what's a Newton one? Did he fall already? Oh, got it right here. Oh, yeah, that's the one I'm using. So we need to switch over to the purple. Alright, still having a problem with this arm. I don't know what the deal is, but it just doesn't feel right. You know, like, it needs to be out here a little bit more. You know, I gotta take the bend out and assume his shoulder is further back than that. Now you can see a problem right here, which is it stays so wet that it comes off. Not cool. Not sure what this little thing sticking off the side is. Okay. So these are like some general coat kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of trying to establish where some colors will be and where some colors will not be. This color here I'm mostly using for my the dark interior here. Whoa! Definitely a serious watercolor look to the pigment colors. So just using this as a dark, because once you go with black, you know, you're stuck with black. So for this I'm going to kind of mess around with some other colors, and then we'll bring black in at the end. So just okay. Next thing is we want to throw in these window frames with our this blue color. You know, we kind of want a little sky out there. So what do we got over here for sky colors? Pink, green, not so good. What color we got here? Kind of want to use this guy instead. Forever having too many markers in my hands at once. This is just a little bit of a way to get a soft blend here, because the whole sky shouldn't be this saturated. Really just kind of in the distance. The rest of the sky should be a softer blue. All right. Cool thing that I wondered if it would work is smudging some of these colors on the yupo to try to make them make more sense, you know, or to just give them a different kind of vibe. Problem is of mixing, you know, one color with the next, and it seems as though you have a relatively short window to do this before they get too dry and they don't work anymore. But I like that. I thought that was pretty fun. And you can just put a little and start working with it, because we want really like not much blue, not much like a cloudy blue, cloudy with a chance of meatballs, one of my favorite films. That looks so much better than not using this, than not smudging. You know what I mean? Like, the unsmudged areas look like crap. The smudged areas look okay. Right. So answer number 1, you can smudge on yupo. Here I'm just smudging in some of this here. One of the interesting parts is going to be what happens to overlapping colors. You know what I mean? Like, do we get a blend, or do we get cover, or kind of what happens? So we're going to see what happens. What? Clicked away from my own stuff. Oh, what happened? Go back to channel videos. Huh. There we go. All right, so we're about an hour in, if you can possibly believe that. What are we going to use next? I wish I had a good brown. What do we got? What the heck is vermilion? Anybody out there knows what vermilion is? Go on the comments and let me know. Let's see. You guys still with me? You guys still with me? I am getting there. Now we just got to find a good brown color, which we don't have. Hey, look, there's our friend Molly.
Hi.
Hi. Actually, I guess it's the camera right there.
Hi.
There she is. It's Molly.
What are you making?
Drawing.
It looks weird.
I'm going for weird, Ma.
The paper's weird. That's what it is.
It's a special paper. It's made of plastic.
What?
Yeah.
Can you rip it as good as the others?
No, not really.
So this is not rippable?
It probably is a little bit, but not the same.
H3.
Yeah, we're still working. Will be a few more minutes.
How long do you have to do it? An hour?
Another 18 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. So basically you're gonna end at...
Hurry up, Ma. Gotta go back to doing it.
I know.
So 20 minutes would be about 3:30.
There
Okay.
we go.
Love you too.
Bye.
Hey, bye, Ma. That was cool for Ma to stop by. She's awesome. I hope everybody out there has a Molly at their place, because she's awesome. Go. Throw our little book here. I guess just driving around with the Bible. Wish I had something really small I could smudge with that wasn't wet. Very short brush might be good. You know what I really need is a Q-tip. But to think I would have a Q-tip, there's absolutely no chance. Huh, this little piece of foam I found doesn't seem to work too bad. Alright. Smudging looks pretty cool. I really like it. You know, it's a really interesting kind of effect. So now we can put our floor in here and see what happens if we smudge some black and blue together. Definitely can get some directionality out of the ground. So that's a cool color. A little bit of the blue and black mixed together. That's cool. There we go. One sec, guys. I gotta get something else going on. Alright, you guys, give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that, you guys. Timing is everything. I'm all over the damn place. Sorry, guys. So I don't know. I think that this hat kind of works sort of cool. I wanted to see what we could come up with if we intentionally use some harder black, like if we can still use it, you know. I don't know, that's kind of interesting. We definitely need some brown. So I'm going to try a little brown right here. A little red. Oh no, that red's possibly junk. Same? Yep. There we go. Alright, so we got a little red there. I'm going to try a little mix. Yeah, more of a gray. there we go. Oh, look at this one. And this brown is really wet. How we can deal with this much of a wet brown. Pretty weird that all the other markers would skate nice and brown would be too wet. Literally the same on top of itself even. Hoping that after a little bit these colors dry because if not it's gonna look like crap, honestly. Too bad, I guess, after you smudge it a bit. You can definitely do some layering with it. Now we kind of need a good skin tone. Go with a straight pink. What do you guys think? Think that would be funny? Oh, pink looks like it's not doing great. Let's try this pink. See, this pink is working really good, not sitting on the top or too wet or anything. Wonder what the difference is. I don't know why. Let's see what happens if you use the pigments have a white. Curious what the white will do. Oh, look at that. Comes in kind of nice. Well, I kind of like the way the white and the pink kind of work together. weird underneath. You'll notice I'm not great with color choices. I don't know why this is so wet. No, same deal. This doesn't want to work on this paper, I think. Definitely don't like the pools that it's sitting on top. That's not cool. Okay. Alright, a little bit more of the dash here. This color is the same color. My hands are now extremely dirty, so whatever color I put down is going to blend in with my fingers. Okay, I was using purple as my accent color. Purple. Well, unfortunately, you guys, we only have about 4 minutes left, and we did not finish what we were doing here. So I think there's some interesting things happening. Some of me kind of wishes that we had just done black and white. Maybe we could have gotten a little bit more out of it. I'm not sure. Just throwing in some recognizable detail, you know. I don't even think I'll have that. Some stuff that helps, like, make them. Alright. Just for laughs, we can throw in some yellow there. Probably should be orange. What if we can just pull over the moisture out of the brown? So even the black here, it really skates on the yupo quite a bit. So it looks like this is where we got to so far in our time together. It's coming, you know, like he's funny looking. Does feel a little bit like he's driving the car and that we're looking into it, you know, like I hope. So that's what I wanted to work on today. So that's all we have time for. Tomorrow I am back here, the same time, and I would love to see you guys again, and we could do some more of this work. We may finish this piece if I can make some sense out of it in between now and then. If not, we will probably work on something new or something different. I'm kind of excited about the next couple of programs. I'm going to add a GoPro to my project and be able to go outside, and I think this is going to be really cool. So keep checking back. I will definitely put that in the description. Excuse me. See, you get a little messy doing this stuff. So that is pretty much what I was going to do today, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for once again spending time with me and being a part of what we're up to.